A presentation session coming up. The presentation session is called Sharing Experiences and Best Practices Exchange. We have 5 presenters for this segment. First up, we have Mr. Yasser Zaazaa. He's the Managing Director and CEO of the Egyptian Central Securities Depository from Egypt. Welcome. So take a seat and I'll invite everyone. And up next we have Birahim Diouf. He's the Chief Executive Officer, Depositaire Central Bank de Règlement Ivory Coast. Welcome. And we have Ali Kirali, Chief Executive Officer of the Turkish Mercantile Exchange, Turkey. Welcome. Mr. Zafer Mustafaoğlu, Deputy General Manager, Halk Yatırım Menkul Değerler. Welcome. And last but not least, we have Osman Günsel Topbaş, Co-founder and Managing Partner, Manifest Executive Consultancy, the UAE. Welcome. So let's, just before we begin, we had a question before about how to go over the slides. If you have any difficulty, please just call out and our friends will help show you how to use this and go along with the slides. So first up, let's invite Mr. Yasser Zaazaa for his presentation.
Thank you very much.
You'd like to do it there? You don't want to come up onto the podium?
No problem.
Okay. However you feel comfortable. Thank you.
Thank you very much and good afternoon all. I will be speaking today about the Egyptian Central Securities Depository, the recently established CSD in Africa that is specialized in government debt instruments. Let me start by saying that the establishment of AECSD is part of the government comprehensive plan to develop the Egyptian capital market. Presently, Egypt is following a multi-CSD model where MCDR, the first CSD, is responsible for the depository clearing and settlement of the equities, the corporate bonds, the corporate sukuks, the GDRs, the EDRs, the ETFs, etc. And AECSD, after its establishment, is responsible for the clearing and settlement of all type of debt instruments, in addition to a third company that is already established, but it's not yet operational, and will be responsible for the clearing and depository of derivatives. Prior to the establishment of this new AECSD, the traded debt instruments at the local market level were traded through 2 different trading platforms, the trading platform of MCDR and the trading platform of the Central Bank of Egypt. And that's why one of the main objectives of establishing this new CSD was to gather these instruments, specifically the debt instruments, under one trading platform, and of course to work as much as possible based on the existing rules and regulations to unify its related treatments in terms of settlement, asset servicing, and taxation, the matter that led to many key benefits at the local market level. Of course, by applying what I have previously mentioned, this will contribute positively in reducing the debt cost, which is another main objective of establishing this new company. Now, for the first time in the Egyptian market, now all executed trades related to all type of debt instruments are executed through the Egyptian Stock Exchange trading platform, making, of course, the market more transparent and, most importantly, making the market yield curve more accurate. Now we are acting in the Egyptian market as the central tax agent on behalf of the Egyptian Tax Authority for all type of debt instruments. This means that presently all the related collected tax amounts are sent or delivered to the Egyptian tax authority through the Egyptian Central Securities Depository instead of 38 banks prior to the establishment of this new company, which improved significantly the tax collection process at the local market level. Being the government arm, of course, this is for the time being encouraging the Ministry of Finance to launch locally some new product for the debt instruments. And presently there are many discussions between the Central Bank of Egypt and the Ministry of Finance to launch sukuks and green bonds for the first time at the local market level in Egypt. I think also after being fully operational, I think this is the right time now to reopen the discussion with the ICSDs, Euroclear and Clearstream. I think now this is a better time to start the discussions in order to find a kind of middle ground to see how their direct link model could be applied in the Egyptian market without changing the model that we are presently following. But I think this will take some time. In terms of enhancements, I think one of the main enhancements we've succeeded to achieve was increasing the number of the Egyptian banks that are licensed to deal in the secondary market of the debt instruments in Egypt. The number was increased from 16 banks to 32 banks after the establishment of this new company. And presently, there are discussions with the Financial Regulatory Authority in Egypt in order also to allow the brokerage firms to act as direct participants in the secondary market of the debt instruments. This for sure will have a very positive impact on the market liquidity and volumes and the trading activity as well. Now, for the first time in the Egyptian market, we are having a unified settlement cycle for all type of debt instruments. The settlement cycle presently is from T+0 to T+5. This is for sure making the market more flexible in terms of trading, especially for foreign investors due to the time differences, as well as enabling also the international broker dealers to be able to close their back-to-back trades at the same day without being forced to wait for the next day in order to close these transactions. Coming from the custody side and working for global custodians for more than 30 years, I think this helped a lot when we were working on developing the new trading platform for the debt instruments. We've tried as much as possible, of course, to solve the existing issues based on the old used model. We are now, of course, having the Swift messages as our main mean of communication, incorporating Swift message confirmations and notifications for settlement and corporate action events. Now we can say that we are having a real-time clearing and settlement process through a true DVP model that is automatically linked with the Central Bank of Egypt RTGS system for the first time in the market. We've also developed a new full automated taxation module for tax calculation, for tax collection, for reporting based on the tax authority requirements, and also handling the tax refund process for the foreign investors. Also, and based on the requests of the Egyptian banks, we've also developed a kind of comprehensive new reporting tool for all type of debt instruments for the first time in order to support their day-to-day activities as well as their reconciliation process. In terms of advocacy efforts, I think let me start with taxation, which was considered one of the main issues foreign investors were facing when dealing in the secondary market of the Egyptian debt instruments. This is related to the reduced rates or the exemption based on the double taxation treaty agreements between Egypt and the different countries. The tax refund process was very complicated, was taking too long, and was not clearly identified. And after many discussions, we've succeeded to sign a kind of MOU with the Egyptian Tax Authority, as I mentioned, appointing us as the central tax agent for the first time in the market for all type of instruments. This gives us the opportunity to simplify and to enhance the already existing tax refund process. and that helped a lot solving many issues with the foreign investors. This is the first part. The second part is related to the timing of applying these reduced rates or these exemptions. Based on this MOU, we already granted the foreign investors a grace period of 3 months from the beginning of each year till the end of the first quarter to provide the needed documents to the tax authority to receive these reduced rates or these exemptions. But the good thing is that during this grace period, we will be applying the reduced rates or the exemptions based on the foreign investors' approval for the previous year and not the default tax rate, which is closing this issue once and for all. Another important thing is related to the dormancy and the reactivation process of the securities accounts at the local market level. Also, this process is presently for the first time managed through the Egyptian Stock Exchange, and we also succeeded to expand the reactivation process to be every 2 years instead of 1 year. Also, we've been working with the regulator in order to reduce the requirements for the license granted to the Egyptian banks to get the custody license, also for the secondary trading in the debt instruments. That helped also increasing the number of custodian banks presently to reach the level of 33 banks. For the first time in the Egyptian market also, we've been working with the Central Bank of Egypt closely, and we issued for the first time a clear repo framework for all type of repo transactions, and we have also availed the execution of all type of repo transactions for the first time through the Egyptian Stock Exchange trading platform. And the good thing is that after the establishment of this new company now, the Central Bank of Egypt is accepting not only treasury bonds but also treasury bills as a collateral for the credit facilities provided to the Egyptian banks. Finally, as I mentioned, a new company is established for derivatives, and you know that a CCP is needed for its operations. So presently, we are in discussions with the regulator in order to include all type of debt instruments under this new CCP framework. The reason, of course, is to alleviate the counterparty risk and to reduce the number of the failed trades at the local market level to the minimal, but we are still in discussions because we need to ensure that the related accompanied costs will not hardly affect the cost of the transaction execution at the local market level. On the 29th of September, we have completed our first year fully operational, so we are still having a lot of work to do. Implementing, of course, our new ERP system. We will continue working with Thomas Murray on our public rating and our compliance with the PFMI IOSCO principles. And for sure, we will continue working on the development that we will be doing on our platform in the coming period. And we are having a plan for development till the end of 2025. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much.
Mr. Yasser Zaazaa, for your presentation. And now I'd like to invite our second presenter, Mr. Birahim Diouf, Chief Executive Officer at Depositaires Central. Thank you. Do you want some help using the slides?
Yeah, thank you.
But,
Two slides.
are you okay?
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank the CEO of MKK and the President Abdullah for this beautiful gathering. And for me, it's my first visit in Istanbul. Very nice city. I had a chance to went through various documentaries, movies, and about Turkey. It's a very beautiful and big history and long history. Thank you very much, CEO. So I have the opportunity to share with you our common experience in terms of, let's say, not integrated market, but a common market for 8 countries. Next slide, please. The CSD of West Africa is based in Côte d'Ivoire. I don't know if it's working. Oh, this one. Perfect. Okay. The CSD of Côte d'Ivoire, the DCBI, is based in Côte d'Ivoire, and we are part of a region, an economic region composed of 8 countries, namely Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, Mali, Togo, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Benin. We share a common currency, CFA, pegged to the euro. We have a let's say, a sovereign contract with the French Treasury regarding the stability of our currency. It's a region with 130 million of people, with a GDP of 160 billion, good positioning in the west coast of the continent. If we compare our market to an integrated market, we have prepared something. What is an integrated market? You're trying to link or organize many markets in one market, which means that you have to harmonize regulatory framework across countries. You have to have a unified trading platform, a common oversight of the regulator. You need to enhance corporate governance, harmonize legal framework, build a robust infrastructure across those countries that you're trying, or market that you're trying to integrate, and also promote liquidity. So what we have done, based on our common advantages, we have created, based on best practices, just one market. With the same framework, with at the top regulatory body, which is the IMF, and the regional stock exchange and the central depository, which means that we complying to best practices in terms of market framework, capital market framework, and organization. In terms of story, I tried to put here the key dates of the market. The market was created in 1996. We started operating in 1998. Then when we started in 1988, we had 3 trading sessions per week and settling T+5. Why? Because we did not have at the time RTGS, and banking-wise, country was not linked. So we had to organize ourselves. So 3 trading days per week and T+5 settlement cycle. In 1999, we started a decentralized trading, which means that at the beginning, orders was coming by fax and manually to the head office, and we were here keying the transaction. Then with the creation of a virtual network, we were managed to connect all brokers across the region to the trading engine. And we start trading 3 times a day, but electronically. In 2001, we moved to a daily trading activity. So from 3 days trading per week, we moved to 5 trading days per week, and keeping the same settlement cycle, so T+5. And for that, we organize and we try to find the best banking group to organize a settlement, cash settlement across the region, was EcoBank at that time. In 2007, with the launch of the RTGS by the central bank, we moved from T+5 to T+3. T+3 was the best standard, and the standard at that moment, and still the standard. And in 2013, we moved to continuous trading. We used to have a fixed trading session per trading session. Then in T+13, we moved to a continuous trading. What are our specificity? For the two market infrastructure we have, they are private companies. They're not public, not owned by the member state. They're owned by brokers, banks, regional banks, pension fund. They are fully demutualized, owned by private sector, both the CSD and the stock exchange. We have a fully electronic market complying the best standards in terms of having for the CSD a settlement guarantee fund, complying to T+3 with securities trading in a fully demutualized form. For the stock exchange side, we are the two bond market, an equity market and a bond market, trade continuously and fully demutualized also shares, which make us comply to best practices. The beauty of the system was created or allowed by the fact that we had the same currency across the region. We have the same currency, the same central bank, and this allows us to create one single market for 8 countries. Not 8 markets, but one single market for 8 countries. This is the split of brokers and custodian banks across the region. As you can see, we have a concentration in Côte d'Ivoire, where most of the brokers are based. Because of the fact, before we start the regional stock exchange on CSD, Côte d'Ivoire had their own stock exchange from 1974 to 1998, and they decided with the region to put all their counters in our regional stock exchange, closing the local stock exchange. So we had the chance to start with a market with around 35 counters trading and fully demutualized with the CSD. As a CSD, we offer the same product and services, centralized custody, settlement at the regional level, management of settlement guarantee fund. We are part of ANA, and we issue ISIN codes and numbering codes across the region, and we provide corporate actions, interest payment, reimbursement, because we have bonds listed on our stock exchange, and we manage OTC transaction and transfer across the market. As if we take the interaction, we have the same interaction for all type of markets and best and standards in terms of interaction between the CSD and the ecosystem with the central bank. And listed, we manage listed and unlisted shares. We have a close relation with this regional stock exchange. We manage the settlement guarantee fund, and we manage transfer of share from one participant to another. In terms of perspective, we're launching a couple of projects. We're developing an offer for the ecosystem. We managed to have a deal with SWIFT for the market, which allow us to secure the messaging system across the market participant and with the central bank. We're currently involved in a digitalized project with to launch an IPO platform for the market. For that, we have the support of the African Development Bank. We're still pushing and the development of the numbering of financial instrument, and introduce soon all services related to collateral management. We have a repository platform between our platform and the market operators. We're planning to have a big move from omnibus account to individual financial beneficiary owner model, which is another story and a big project where we are involved. And we are involved in the reduction of the settlement cycle from T+3 to T+2. This is one of the second biggest project in the market where we are involved on the front line. And finally, we're involved with the integrated project, capital market project with ECOWAS. ECOWAS is a larger region, including Nigeria, Ghana, and some of those countries. So we have we're just working now on how the settlement could be done across the ECOWAS countries. Key takeaways for this presentation and the best practice in terms of having a single market for many countries, not an integrated market, but a single market. We go beyond integrated market. We are one market. We are not 8 markets. We are just one market. We have one central bank for the 8 countries. We have a common regulator. We just have one regulator for the 8 countries. We have a common currency, which allows us to ease the settlement. We have a common stock exchange, not only a CSD, but we have a common stock exchange for the region. And we have a common corporate law and business law. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Birahim Diouf. Now I'll invite our third presenter, Ali Kirali, Chief Executive Officer of Turkish Mercantile Exchange.
Good morning all. Since we are in Istanbul and majority of the audience seems to be Turkish speaking, I will take the liberty of doing the presentation in Turkish, although slides are in English. But more than happy to answer any questions in English if not well understood. And I leave the translation to the trusted hands of our translators above. Thank you. Bugün sizlere Türkiye Ürün İhtisas Borsası ve üzerinde durduğu lisanslı depoculuk sistemini ve bu sistemin işleyişinde merkezi kayıt kuruluşumuzun bize nasıl destek olduğunu, onlarla nasıl bir işbirliği içinde olduğumuzu ve ayrıca da sistemin gıda güvenliği ve tarım politikaları açısından önemini anlatan bir sunum yapacağım. Önce kurumundan kısaca bahsetmek istiyorum. 2018'de kurulan bir borsa, 2019'da ilk gongu vurduk. Temel olarak 2 iş yapıyoruz. Birincisi spot, el üst piyasası, elektronik ürün senedi. Birazdan geleceğim bunun ne olduğuna. Bu piyasayı işletiyoruz. İkinci, henüz açmadığımız piyasada vadeli işlemler piyasası, elektronik ürün senetlerinin üzerine çıkarılmış vadeli işlem sözleşmelerinin trade edildiği piyasa. Biz bir özel sektör kuruluşuyuz, kanunla kurulmamıza rağmen. Yani biraz hibrit bir yapımız var ve Ticaret Bakanlığı ana regülatörümüz, sermaye piyasası kurulu da çapraz regülatörümüz bazı alanlarda bizi düzenliyor. Okay. I can switch to English too. Okay. Sistem borsamız ve paydaşlarımızdan oluşuyor. Paydaşlarımız kimler? 112 tane ticaret borsası Türkiye'nin bütün illerinde ve bazı ilçelerinde yatırımcılarımızı kaydediyor. Bizde işlem yapabilecekleri kaydediyor. 221 tane lisanslı depo var. Bu depolardaki ürünler borsamızda işlem görüyor. 221 lisanslı depo işletmesi var ama bunların 300 lokasyonda depoları var. Yani bütün Türkiye çapında 300 depodaki ürünler borsamızda işlem görüyor. 240 bine yakın yatırımcı var. Şu anda doğrudan borsamıza emir verip alım satım yapabiliyorlar. Aracılık sistemi yakında devreye alacağız. Borsa İstanbul tarafındaki gibi bir süre sonra sayısı çok daha az olan aracılar vasıtasıyla emirleri iletmeye başlayacaklar. Şu anda 25 tane aracı kurum ve banka bu takas ve saklama işini piyasamızdaki gerçekleştiriyor. Bu elektronik ürün senetlerine geri dönecek olursak bu nedir tam olarak, bunu bir açıklayalım ki merkezi kayıt kuruluşumuzun buradaki en büyük desteği, sistemin temel taşı olarak bu elektronik ürün senetlerinin üretilmesinde ortaya çıkıyor diyelim. Elektronik ürün senedi, bu bahsettiğim Türkiye çapındaki 300 depodaki ürünler bu depoya girdiği zaman Depolarda ikili bir yapı var. Bir yetkili sınıflandırıcı ürün depoya geldiğinde, çiftçi ürününü hasat edip depoya getirdiğinde öncelikle bu lisanslı sınıflandırıcılardan bir analiz yaptırıyor ve ürünün cinsi, sınıfı neyse burada belirleniyor. İlk kayıt bu analizin Merkezi Kayıt Kuruluşu tarafından kayda alınması ve bu analiz sonucuna göre bu ürünün üzerine elektronik bir sertifika çıkarılması. Bu elektronik sertifika bir aizin aslında bildiğimiz kod bütün menkul kıymetler için dünya çapında kullanılan ve burada ürünün sınıfı, cinsi, bütün her şey burada kayıtlı, miktarı. Bu üretildikten sonra ürün depoya giriyor, uygun siloya depolanıyor ve depoda kaldığı sürece Merkezi Kayıt Kuruluşumuz, elektronik kayıt kuruluşu görevi olan mevzuat gereği bu kaydı kime ait olduğunu ve ne olduğunu ürünün kaydını Merkezi Kayıt Kuruluşumuz tutuyor. Yani sistem çok kısaca şundan ibaret. Depolara giren ürünlerin üzerine elektronik sertifikalar çıkarılıyor. Ürün depoda duruyor, hiçbir yere kıpırdamıyor ama bu elektronik sertifikalar bizim borsamız, Türkiye Ürün İhtisas Borsası'nda sürekli olarak trade ediyor ve el değiştiriyor. Ta ki ürünün nihai sahibi kimse bunu depodan çekip nihai kullanıma sokana kadar. Bunlar da genelde sanayiciler, yemciler, uncular oluyor. Lisanslı depolar az önce söylediğim gibi 300 tane ülke çapında. Borsamızın ve depolama kapasitesini şöyle perspektife koymak için şöyle söyleyeyim. Türkiye'nin hububat rekoltesi yıllık 35-40 milyon ton arasında. Lisanslı depo kapasitemiz ise 12 milyon tona ulaştı. Yani yaklaşık %30'u Türkiye'deki ürünlerin lisanslı depolarda depolanabiliyor ve de borsamızda işlem görüyor. Yani bu Türkiye Ürün İhtisas Borsası'nı Türkiye'nin zaten tek ulusal tarım borsası, aynı zamanda da işlem hacmi olarak en büyük tarım borsası haline getiriyor. Dediğim gibi 2019'da kurulduktan sonra pozitif bir döngü yakaladık lisanslı depolarla. Çünkü biz likidite sağladıkça daha çok insan sisteme ilgi duyup depolara ürün getirmeye başladı. Ve yatırımlar çok ciddi bir şekilde arttı lisanslı depolara. Kapasite 4 milyon tondan gördüğünüz gibi şu an 12 milyon tona 3 katına artmış durumda 5 sene gibi kısa bir süre içerisinde. Az önce elektronik ürün senetlerinin nasıl üretildiğini ve MKK'nın buradaki rolünü kısaca anlattım. Peki kimler bizde bu elektronik ürün senetlerinin ticaretini yapabiliyor? Kısaca yatırım hesabı olan herkes ve bize kaydolan herkes yapabiliyor. Yani burası sadece tüccar, sanayici ve çiftçiye özgü bir borsa değil. Finansal yatırımcılarda, bireysel yatırımcılarda dediğim gibi 4-5 sayfalık bir sözleşme imzalayarak bizimle bizde ürünleri alıp satabilir hale geliyorlar. Yani kapımız herkese açık. 240 bine yakın yatırımcı var. Aracılı sisteme geçilmesiyle burada ciddi bir ivmelenme ve artış bekliyoruz önümüzdeki aylar ve yıllarda. Ve dediğim gibi şu anda Ankara'da aslında küçük bir ekibiz. 240 bin yatırımcıyı oradan idare etmek bütün sorunlarını kolay değil. Aracıların devreye girmesiyle inşallah onlara çok daha kaliteli bir hizmet vermeye başlıyor olacağız. Seslerini daha çok dinliyor olacağız. 3 saatlik seanslarımız var. Her gün saat 10 ile saat 1 arasında gerçekleşiyor. T0 takas prensibi var. Saat 5 itibariyle her gün ürünlerin ve paranın takasını gerçekleştiriyoruz. Burada da Takas Bank'tan destek alıyoruz. Kurulduktan sonra elektronik ürün senedi ticaretine ciddi bir ivmelenme sağlandı borsamız sayesinde. Buradaki en önemli faktörler tabii ki modern borsacılık kurallarını uygulamaya başladık. Daha önce ticaret borsalarında bu ticaret vardı. Ve en önemli ikinci unsur da az önce bahsettiğim pozitif döngüyü yaratmış olmamız, lisanslı depo kapasitesinin de ciddi artmasıyla kurulmadan önceki 5 yılla kıyasla 27 kat son 5 senede elektronik ürün ticareti, elektronik ürün senedi ticaretini Türkiye'de arttırmış bulunuyoruz. Burada bir diğer bizim için başarı kriteri özel sektör bunun ne kadarını yapıyor. Başladığımızda %70'ini TMO, sadece %30'unu özel sektör yapıyordu işlemlerin. 2021 yılında TMO'nun yani devletin payını işlemlerde %10'a kadar düşürdük. %90'ı özel sektör tarafından yapılıyordu ama maalesef 2022 yılında gelen önce Rusya-Ukrayna savaşı bölgemizin tahıl ambarındaki ve arkasından kuraklık nedeniyle TMO ciddi şekilde piyasaya ağırlığını koydu ama bunu biz geçici bir süreç olarak görüyoruz. İnşallah tekrar özel sektörün payının %50'nin 60'ın üzerine geçtiği piyasa günlerine geri döneceğimizi tahmin ediyorum. Hangi ürünler işlem görüyor? %54 buğday, 5 senelik işlem hacmine baktığımızda kümülatif, %35 mısır, %10 arpa. Bunların dışında 14 ürün daha var ama bunlar daha eser miktarlarda. Yani bizim için mahşerin 3 atlısı bu 3 ürün diyebiliriz. Bu dönemde işlemlere dayalı olarak endeksler ürettik. Çünkü ürün fiyatına dayalı bir finansal ürün çıkartmak için hangi ürünün neredeki fiyatı sorusu çok önemli ve açıkçası biz endeksleri çıkarana kadar çok cevap da bulmuş bir soru değildi. Ama bütün Türkiye'deki buğday, arpa, mısır ve bunların bileşiği olan hububat endeksini üretmeye başlayınca bu sorunun cevabını arayan ve bu ürünler üzerine finansal ürün çıkartmak isteyen yatırımcı ve girişimcilere bir araç sunmuş olduk. Özellikle varlığa dayalı menkul kıymet ihraçları bunlar üzerine son dönemde görülen ihraçlar sektörün bu eksiğini gidermiş olduk bu 5 senelik kısa dönemde. Lisanslı depo kapasitesi buradan nereye gidecek? Bizim amacımız ülkedeki bütün ürünlerin lisanslı depolarda depolanması. Az sonra anlatacağım 3 neden var, 3 ana neden var bunu istememiz için. Dediğim gibi 35-40 milyon ton. Tabii ki bir kısmı zaten çiftçi tarafından tüketiliyor vesaire ama orta vadede 17-18 milyon tona çıkacak. Bu da yaklaşık olarak rekoltenin yarısının lisanslı depolarda olacağı ve bütün ticaretin yarısının borsamız Türkiye Ürün İhtisas Borsası'nda yakın zamanda döneceği anlamına geliyor. Ülke için, gıda güvenliği için, sürdürülebilirlik için bu sistem neden önemli? Çok kısaca buna da değineyim. Birincisi lisanslı depolar. Biz ürünü zorlukla üretiyoruz. İklim krizi şartları, savaşlar, şunlar bunlar. Çiftçinin ortalama yaşının çok ciddi şekilde ülkemizde yukarı gidiyor olması bütün dünyayla beraber. Bu zorlu şartlarda üretilen ürünler gerçekten altın değerinde ve hasat ettikten sonra biz bunları nerede saklamak istiyoruz sorusu bir numaralı önemli soru. Burada bir uçta lisanslı depolar var. Bunlar çok son derece yüksek teknoloji ürünü ve pahalı yatırımlar. Ve frenin minimumda olduğu yatırımlar. Yani sahada kazandığımızı masada veya depoda kaybetmemek adına lisanslı depoların sayısının artırılması ve ürünlerin büyük kısmının orada depolanması çok çok büyük önem arz ediyor. İkinci olarak yine bahsettiğim pandemi, kıtlık, savaş dönemlerinde ürün fiyatları çok kolay manipüle edilebilir hale geliyor. Biz Türkiye Ürün İhtisas Borsası'nın yönetim ekibi olarak, finansal taraftan gelen profesyoneller olarak oradaki gözetim sisteminin aynısını ürün emtia piyasasına da kurmak için elimizden geleni yaptık. 5 senedir uğraşıyoruz bunun için. Şimdi yapay zeka destekli bir sistemi de geliştiriyoruz TÜBİTAK işbirliğiyle. Bu gözetim sistemi sayesinde fiyatların manipüle edilmesi durumunda kolaylıkla tespit edebilmemiz, şeffaf depolarda ürünün kimin elinde olduğunu ve ne amaçla alıp sattığını kolaylıkla tespit edebiliyoruz. Bu genelde ürün piyasalarında görünmeyen bir şey. Bu piyasalar genelde opak yapılar. Kim alıyor, kim satıyor, mal kimin elinde bunu kolay kolay tespit edemiyorsunuz. Bu da gerçekten ürün piyasalarında büyük bir yenilik. Ve son olarak son faydası bu sistemin en büyük faydalarından bir tanesi çiftçinin finansmana erişimi. Her sektörde olduğu gibi finansman yoksa sektör de yok. Çiftçi maalesef kolay nasıl söyleyeyim bankacıların sevdiği türde teminatı olan bir grubu değil, kredi isteyen grubu değil. Neden? Bankacılar ne tür teminat sever? Kolay likiditeye çevrilebilen ve bir anda yok olmayacak. Çiftçinin bu tip teminatı maalesef yok. Lisanslı depoculuk buraya gerçekten devrim niteliğinde bir yenilik getiriyor. Siz devletin kontrolü altındaki lisanslı depolara ürününüzü koyduğunuz zaman bir kere burada çifte sigorta var. Ürünün başına bir şey gelme ihtimali yok. Gelse bile 2 sigortayla sigortalı. İkinci olarak da eğer kredi kötüye giderse Türkiye Ürün İhtisas Borsası'nda onun üzerine çıkarılmış el üstleri kolaylıkla likiditeye çevirebiliyorsunuz. Bu nedenle de bankacıların çok hevesli olmadığı kredi vermek için çiftçi grubu bir anda gerçekten en sevdikleri, kredi vermek istedikleri gruba dönüşüyor. Bu gerçekten devrim niteliğinde bir gelişme çiftçinin finansmanı anlamında. Kısaca bu şekilde, sistemimiz bu şekilde. Ben Merkezi Kayıt Kuruluşu'na ve Ekrem Bey'e iki şey için çok teşekkür ediyorum. Öncelikle bu güzel organizasyon ve sizin nazik davetiniz için. İkinci olarak da 5 yıldır gerçekten her türlü desteği gördük. Zaman zaman inisiyatif alarak da kurum olarak size Ekrem Bey ve TÜRİP'le çalışan bütün personelinize, bütün emekleri için ben burada tekrar Haziran 10'unda çok teşekkür ediyorum.
Thank you very much to Mr. Ali Kirali for his presentation. Up next, we have Mr. Zafer Mustafaoğlu, the Deputy General Manager of Halk Yatırım Menkul Değerler.
So, thank you for everyone not sleeping after so many heavy desserts, most probably everybody had during the lunch. So I will try to keep it short as I promised to our hosts, and I will be brief about what we are talking about. Simply, I'm going to go to a more fun but still smaller project. It might be of interest of you or not, but I would really appreciate if you can listen to it. So let's start. Our topic is crowdfunding. You may know, you may not know, but it's basically a collaborative financing tool used normally in the past for a couple of thousand years in different regions, including Mesopotamia and our region. But right now we're talking about a slightly high-tech version of it. Crowdfunding is right now using digital platforms to collect small amounts of money from several people. What's it ends? Basically, it provides financing for startups or small enterprises. So what we are focusing right now is the small enterprises and the more, say, early stage venture capital companies. We can define it by the definition puts over to Capital Markets Board, basically the act of collecting money from the public through the platforms. But it will be boring, so I will pass. So for investors, what is it? It's basically collecting money in small amounts. It provides you to have access to a high growth potential startup. But it must be very well filtered. It must be, let's say, having some well selections. And it has to be through a digital platform. What it provides to you, thanks to MKK, basically you create your digital company shares and you keep them in your own portfolio or in your cold vault, let's call it. What it provides, in our case, it supports the employment, high-valued exports, because we only focus on the deep tech. And then, of course, you have the development, let's say the share of the welfare. For the startups, it's actually much more plain vanilla. It provides a fast funding. Then it provides you awareness in the market and access to a larger client or investor base for the subsequent rounds. We are the only country, most probably in the world, using a centralized system for crowdfunding. Thanks to MKK services, we'll be able to create the shares digitally. We're able to transfer the money digitally through Takas Bank, and then we can basically control everything through this digital footprint. These institutions basically provide us the digital security so that we can open it up for every investor, hopefully in the future to the global ones, because right now it's only restricted to Turkish citizens and the people who hold an identification number in the Turkish Republic. So how it works, basically regulation puts up a structure saying that there will be an investment committee which will be responsible. And they select the startups for the investment criteria. Then you have to follow up all these companies. Basically, when you invest into money, into a startup, you will not be able to track your money, how it will be used, when it will be used. Did the guy buy a Ferrari and you just forget about the funds or the investments? But basically, we have an independent audit report. Where the money goes, we follow. Oops. And then we have the independent audit for the 5 years. Simply put, the Capital Markets Board announces a list of auditors, and then you have to select as the startup. Then you have to complete your report after using all the funds you have raised. And for 5 years, you have to report everything to the platforms. So basically, our the platform is called Fonlabyusun. Very bare translation would be, you finance it and it grows. So it enables the deep tech startups from Turkey to provide financing and increase their high value added businesses. And for the market players, well, we want to demonstrate that we have these deep tech companies so you can invest. We focus on a couple of key pillars. Basically, we only go for the companies who target the global marketplace. We don't go into any local companies or regional companies. We want them to be B2B focused, no consumer products. They're basically very fast changing, very volatile customer type that we don't like as the investors. And we prefer companies providing innovative engineering solutions and or industrial services. So the last thing, maybe everybody likes the word sustainability, but for us, it's basically financial. We like sustainable companies that provides cash flow at any point in their timeline. So then we want to focus on the lowest risk, which is we don't want the R&D financing. We want to finance the scale up. We want to finance the growth. That's where we can make money, so our clients and the investors. How it works through the, I think the diagrams, it's much easier. Well, MKK and Takas Istanbul basically are our best partners because they are the gateways for our startups, for investors. Either it might be an entrepreneur, just a person or a group of people, or the company, or investors. It might be institutional, it might be personal. And there's another layer actually we didn't talk about. How do we find these companies? We basically focus on the best hunting area, the technical universities in Turkey and their technology transfer offices or their technoparks, which are basically technology development areas, especially incentivized by the tax supports. So we have right now a couple of them, but 10 or 15 are waiting for me. I think my colleague can tell it better. So until now, what we have done, a bit little. So we had 7 companies financed, and their financing rounds in total is $1.6 million only. And number of investors, well, 10,000 of them, but we hope to develop it very fast. Just to give you an example before finishing, what kind of companies do you focus on? Well, one of them is training the spine surgeons. Whenever you have a back pain, for which all of us working in the offices, you always have the back pains, neck pains and everything, you want to find a good surgeon, right? If you want to go to surgery, because they will cut you and open you up. You will basically allow them to touch your spine. But remember this, out of 100 type of surgery techniques, they grade basically 30% of them out. So whenever, indifferent from the country, it's Germany, US, Japan, Turkey, Russia, it doesn't matter. They basically graduate without knowing the last 30. And they have a very, let's say, archaic way of knowledge transfer because they have to watch their professors from their back during the surgery, the live surgeries. So what these guys do, basically they created a 360 degrees digital twin of a human body, bones, tissue, you name it. And they can basically show every kind of rare patient type, every kind of operational problems and everything in the visual sections with the support of the virtual platforms. Right now, interested counterparts and working counterparts are, well, Aachen University, Göttingen University, University of New York, University of Toronto, as well as Cornell. So the other guys are collecting the cotton, the residual cotton. In Turkish, it's called afara. So whenever you wear a cotton t-shirt or something like that, you have to know that 5 or 7% of it is wasted on the ground. In order to get rid of it, you either have to let people to collect them free of charge, or you have to burn it. But when you burn it, you lose the soil because only 50 centimeters of the upper soil is suitable for the farming. So when you burn it, you can forget the next year's harvest. So these guys create a visual recognition technology in terms of the visual recognition, plus artificial intelligence support, and of course the hydraulics. In this case, more pneumatics, and they're collecting residual cotton from the ground. So what it means, well, in Turkey it's $120 million. Globally, it's $3 billion. But more importantly, it saves 5% of the water. Remember that hundreds of liters of water has to be present for production of just 1 kg of cotton. So that ends up, and the upcoming campaign. Well, this is for the food again. So we're looking for the soilless farming systems in the greenhouses. And this company is producing the robots, the hardware, and the software to let you know as a balance sheet how many or how much product in your greenhouse you have to send to Albania, to send to Russia, or to UK, because they know exactly when they will be ripe, if they have a disease or not, and how can it be basically get rid of. So, thank you.
Thank you very much to Mr. Zafer Mustafaoğlu for his presentation. And now, last but not least, we have Osman Günsel Topbaş, the co-founder and managing partner, Manifest Executive Consultancy from the United Arab Emirates.
Well, good afternoon all. I really have the pleasure and privilege today, and from all my heart, for a number of reasons. The first reason being, at the early days of my career, I worked for Takas Bank, the Turkish CSD and clearinghouse at the time. So I believe and I feel I belong to this group of market infrastructure and CSDs. And then I moved to Citibank and I managed the custody business first for Turkey, then expanded through the region. And finally, I was managing the Middle East and Africa, including Turkey, Russia, Kazakhstan, up to Pakistan. So in a way, what I was managing now with the maps that was depicted here, I realized I was managing the AMEDA plus AECSD region for custody business. And over my 20 years with Citi, I collaborated very closely with our colleagues at the CSDs, and we also achieved so many things together. And the third reason, today, and actually right now, is also a very important moment for me, because this is also bridging on my career from the professional payroll worker type into a consultant type, as you also heard that with a colleague of mine that has been a long time in the industry, we've established the Manifest Executive Consultancy. Obviously, as you would imagine, this is around security services, post-trade, end-to-end. But what I am also thrilled, and that is another bridge which talks into the concept of this conference, that since my time that I moved to Dubai almost 4 years ago, I got very much involved with the fintech ecosystem. Having been in the custody and post-trade business for so long, what I have seen, the opportunities coming up with the financial technologies that are being implemented, and it is coming, for me, looking from Dubai, it's coming like an avalanche, and if not over the night, it will become the mainstream in a few years. Obviously, there'll be a transition period, and there needs a bridge in between the conventional into the digital, and to make them work together for at least a while, obviously depending, and it will be various from one market to another. And both from a business and commercial perspective, personally, as well as a novel mission, from my also academic credentials, I get this as a mission to also not only make this as a business, but also create the awareness and teach. I also started teaching at universities about fintech. So today what I will be sharing with you is actually a combination of both sides of the world and how I see this coming and what we should expect ahead of us. Okay. So I think you've heard last 2 days many times that financial technology is here and it is transforming the financial services. Yes, it is. And it is not only an emerging trend. It is not something that is out there that we will face tomorrow. It is actually here, and it is fundamentally changing the financial landscape and financial services as we speak. Whether we feel it right now or not, I think it depends on where we stand eventually. But it is there, and as we will see in the next slides, there is a huge and very deep ecosystem is being constructed and is already in play as we speak. And when we talk about the technologies, these are, for a long time, they have been mentioned as disruptive technologies. I think now we have to name them as enabling technologies, because the world that we live in already disrupted. You've already heard so many new ideas, even on this panel that you have seen, there are things and there are financial technologies already been implemented and in the game. Therefore, these are enabling technologies for us. From the payment enablers like APIs that everything started for the third-party applications, to cloud computing that we've heard today from our colleague Turkcell for the cost efficiencies and scale, and how it is very important at times of also crisis that we actually have these data available somewhere else rather than on the spot of an epicenter of an earthquake, for example. And AI, machine learning, I believe most of us are engaged with ChatGPT in some form of or another. And in our friendly conversations, we are also touching base regarding the challenges and the risks of AI. But actually, it makes our lives easy, and it enables so many things for us. We will also see for the CSDs, and we've already heard about AI and its usage over this panel as well. Then comes the distributed ledger technologies and blockchain. 4 years ago, when I first heard about it, and it was actually 10 years late hearing about it because everything started in 2008 with the launch of Bitcoin blockchain. And often we are also a bit fooled thinking Bitcoin only as a cryptocurrency, but it actually is a blockchain. And the whole blockchain concept has been launched by Bitcoin itself at the time, 2008. And the fintech's use of DLT actually picked up from 2014. And as we speak now, when you are in the fintech ecosystem, it is very difficult to understand the language. Also the generation is a little bit different than our average of ages here. But again, we have to learn a new language. The good news is, as we have heard, both AECSD and AMEDA are 20 years old. So this is Generation Z and easy to adapt to the new realities. And in terms of the fintech areas, these are specialized areas. I listed mainly 4 of them. And every day there is a new XXX tech being devised and defined and put in place. But PayTech, this has been the most widely used and longest time used of the technology. And you would remember PayPal from the early days of internet. So that was, interesting enough, that was also Elon Musk at the time, one of the founders of PayPal. So it started with likes of PayPal, and every day also there is a new payment enabler, payment technology. And these are becoming also unicorns. And these are not only just one company that serves the globe, these are as well local companies that have been established and flourishing. Then comes the wealth tech. I think this will get into our lives more often, more so as investors and users. And that is actually to provide and make it accessible, the wealth services, which has been only available for the high net worth individuals. But now with the fractionalization, with the other technologies like blockchain, now it is also much more accessible, both with AI and blockchain. We heard about sustainability so many times. This is one other aspect that is coming our way. And I think it is not only something that we should be eagerly involved. I think this is something that we would be implementing as CSDs, because in some form of or another, either our clients will be asking this or the regulators will be mandating the CSDs for the sustainability reporting and the monitoring. This will be also coming our way. Now, the other piece is cryptocurrency and digital assets. For, again, last 4 years, I purposefully avoided using cryptocurrency at Citi, because whenever I said crypto, people were turning back and then walking away. Therefore, I prefer to use digital assets instead of crypto, despite the crypto concept is also the underlying factor of the cybersecurity of the whole concept. But again, digital assets and the tokenization, that brings a vast amount of opportunity ahead of us and expectations, as we will see when the investors and your clients will be demanding these assets to be serviced, then this would be the time that we need to be prepared. Now, looking into the CSD specifically, obviously significant changes are coming, and that's on our way. With regards to also expectations from the investors, changing, and the whole industry moves beyond the traditional processes. So whatever we have been talking up until 2-3 years ago for the last 15-20 years has drastically changed past 2-3 years in these conferences. That is an example of the transition, and things are changing, and the regulations that needs to keep up with all these changes as we speak. And these first three bullets there, the fintech adoption, the investor behavior, and the changes in the processes and regulations was also listed in Colin's earlier presentation today, that the three fundamental changes in the market that is ahead of the institutions. Then, of course, this leads into the rise of the digital assets and tokenization. We don't necessarily feel the pressure yet. It's not at our door, knocking and banging, but it will be there. And when it is there, it is better that we are ready for that. And I actually put a diagram over there that I borrowed from Zodiac Custody. This shows a little bit of a status picture, and this keeps changing almost every day, not with the players changing, but the boxes getting more crowded. And as you see, from the custody brokerage to the issuance platforms, from the exchanges to the brokers, from the lending platforms to the technology providers, clearing settlement, OTC market makers, these are all new company names that nobody have heard up until 2, 3, 5 years max ago. This keeps changing. This keeps getting more crowded. I think what is most relevant, which is ringing the, if not the alarm bells, but a wake-up call for all of us, is now the establishment of private CSDs. And this actually have come to my attention over this summer, as I was also preparing the content and getting prepared for the advisory consultancy and talking to too many parties, obviously from the various parts of the industry. I realized that at least 2 private CSDs, to my knowledge, there may be more, but I actually also had chats with both of them. One of them is Montis. It's a subsidiary of Archax, which is also a tokenization platform, Archax. And Montis is a subsidiary, and that is now being licensed by Luxembourg authorities. And the other one is FinStreet, and that is very recently announced, their establishment, and they are licensed by ADGM. And it's a full scale. It is exchange, it is CSD, and it is also a tokenization platform. Montis, their value proposition is they say they bring the conventional assets and the digital assets together over a platform. Whether it is one platform or not, for the end user or the B2B users, it's not a matter, but they are able to serve both sides together. FinStreet, their value proposition is to serve the private assets. So earlier today, it was also mentioned the alternatives being so much important to be able to serve. So the traditional assets that we have been serving, the bonds and equities so far, will be drastically and exponentially changing, both with the type and then the overall amount of the value of asset under custody needs to be drastically increased with an avalanche of the new asset classes coming in. Earlier yesterday, at the presentation of the new instruments presentation, there was a number that was given that today the digital assets value that is existing is 1.5 trillion, and by 2030 it is expected to be 16 trillion. More importantly, only 4% of that was equities, listed equities. So therefore, there is an avalanche of new assets coming in that would be required the services of the CSDs. So then, in this new paradigm, what needs to be done? Obviously, with the new entrance into the market and with the competition that
Some of us will feel earlier, maybe some earlier than the others, but we really need to innovate and not to left behind. And innovation cannot come from only the CEO or cannot come only from a few executives. Because whatever we are talking about here, the financial technologies and their impact, it's something that we need to imagine how we can use them. It's not just a technology that's been implemented instead of another technology. I also had the chance to discuss with some of you. It's not just changing your system from the old one to the new one. This is a whole new paradigm. I don't want to use the analogy, but I have to. It's like when Tesla as a car was being designed, what should we do if we were to do a car from scratch, right? That blockchain and DLT and AI gives us the opportunity. So we don't need to force us to think about it. That gives us the opportunity. It's already there, and we will be asked to service the digital assets. So it is a big opportunity window ahead of us to, first of all, have our awareness, develop our understanding, and then create the imagination out of those. Before I close, just one thing I would like to share. The AI and blockchain, it's very interesting that when the companies are asked what would be the use of blockchain for today, for you, 51%, and that's by far the largest response, mentioned that it is actually to work more efficiently with AI. So there is a big correlation in between the two. And I will leave you with, I think I said enough about the importance of what is coming our way. So innovation and the mentality toward innovation is the key. And bringing this as a culture to the workforce, our employees across the board within the CSDs, and the executive management having this strategic understanding and the strategic planning ahead for the use of these technologies is crucial. And I think to the extent that CSDs can embrace these financial technologies and design to the future, not only will remain competitive, but will further cement the unique place in each individual market that you are serving. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our final presenter, Mr. Osman Günsel Topbaş.